I want to start by saying something clearly, because it matters. This is not a rant. This is not an attack on schools. This is not me telling parents what to do. This is me trying to explain something that a lot of parents feel, but don't quite have language for. And if you're a parent who has ever thought, why does this feel harder than it should? Or, I feel like I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do, and it's still not working, then this is for you. I'm calling this the Parent Playbook, not because it's a set of rules, but because it's the explanation I wish every parent got before their kid ever walked into school. I'm not reading policy. I'm not giving legal advice. I'm not talking about special cases. I'm talking about the normal experience of school and why it creates so much pressure, confusion, and exhaustion for families who care. Part 1. What parents think school is supposed to do. Most parents send their kids to school with a long, invisible list of expectations. Some of them are reasonable, some of them are inherited, some of them are never said out loud. Parents expect school to teach our kids academics, keep them safe, help them make friends, build confidence, prevent anxiety, catch problems early, motivate them, prepare them for the future, and somehow make them happy while doing all of that. And here's the part no one says plainly. That's just too much. Not because parents are wrong for wanting it, but because no system can carry that many emotional responsibilities without creating pressure somewhere else. And that pressure almost always lands on kids. Part 2. Why pressure backfires, even when intentions are good. Most pressure in school doesn't come from cruelty. It comes from fear. Fear of falling behind, fear of missing something, fear of doing it wrong, fear of being blamed later. So we measure, we monitor, we check, we compare. And the irony is this: the more pressure we apply in the name of helping, the more fragile kids become. Pressure doesn't build motivation, it builds compliance. And compliance looks good on paper for a while, but it's fragile. It collapses the moment external rewards disappear. That's why so many kids look fine in elementary school and fall apart later. They weren't building internal motivation. They were learning how to survive expectations. Part 3. What kids actually experience in school. From the inside, school often feels like this. Someone else decides what matters, what order it happens in, how long it takes, how success is measured, and when you're done. Even when teachers are kind, even when schools are trying, even when the people care. Kids are navigating a system where very few decisions belong to them. So when parents ask, why doesn't my child seem motivated? Or why do they shut down at home? It's often because school has already used up their decision-making energy. By the time they get home, they don't want enrichment. They want relief. Part 4. Why home becomes the pressure release valve. This is where things quietly go wrong for families. Schools create pressure. Kids hold it together all day. Home becomes the place where it spills out. And parents interpret that spillover as a problem to fix. So home starts to look like more reminders, more monitoring, more conversations about responsibility, more emotional labor. And suddenly, The place that's supposed to feel safe starts to feel like an extension of school. Parents feel like they're failing. Kids feel like they can't escape. And everyone feels tired. Not because anyone did something wrong, but because the system never told parents where the pressure was actually coming from. Part 5. The myth of if we just try harder. This is the most damaging belief parents carry. If I just stay on top of it, if I just push a little more, if I just care harder. Effort is not the problem. Most struggling families are already trying too hard. What's missing isn't effort, it's clarity. Parents aren't failing. They're operating without a map. Part 6. What actually helps and what usually doesn't. Here's the part that surprises people. What helps most kids is not more oversight, more incentives, more consequences, more conversations. What helps is less pressure in the right places. Kids need predictable routines, clear expectations, bounded choice, time without evaluation, and adults who don't panic when things wobble. That doesn't mean no standards. It means fewer emotional stakes attached to every task. Reading matters. Homework matters. Responsibility matters. But constant urgency does not. Part 7. Where parents actually have influence. Parents don't control the system. That's the hard truth. But parents do control the emotional temperature at home, how mistakes are framed, whether effort is treated as performance or practice, and whether kids feel trusted or constantly assessed. You can't remove all the pressure, but you can stop adding invisible pressure on top of what already exists. That alone changes everything. Part 8. What to stop worrying about. Most parents worry about the wrong things. They worry about being behind, looking irresponsible, what others think, and whether their kid is normal. What matters more is whether your kid feels safe to try, whether they believe mistakes are survivable, whether they know your approval isn't conditional on performance. Those things don't show up on report cards, but they shape everything that comes after. Part 9. How to talk to schools without becoming that parent. Here's the truth schools don't always say out loud. They are overwhelmed too. When parents show up panicked, systems get defensive. When parents show up curious, systems soften. You don't need perfect language. You need calm language. Questions work better than demands. Patterns matter more than single incidents. And sometimes the most powerful move is deciding what not to escalate. That's not giving up. That's choosing your leverage. Part 10. What success actually looks like. Success is not straight lines, perfect motivation, constant engagement. Success looks like kids who recover, kids who trust themselves, kids who can sit with discomfort without collapsing, kids who know home is not another test. That kind of success takes patience. And patience feels uncomfortable in a system built on urgency. Closing. I'm not making this to sell you anything. At some point, I'll probably turn this into a book for parents who want it organized and easier to come back to. But right now, this is me saying out loud what too many families are carrying quietly. If school feels harder than it should, it's not because you're doing it wrong. It's because no one ever explained how much pressure the system creates and where parents actually have power to relieve it. That's the Parent Playbook. Not rules, not hacks, just clarity.